Prime IV Delray Beach helps you feel better, look better, and perform better with IV vitamin therapy. Each of our IV drips is the equivalent of 2.5 gallons of hydration and a custom blended mix of vitamins designed to help you reach your health goals. The top complaints we address are more energy, better sleep, sports recovery, meaning less soreness when you work out, or a great boost to your immune system. Come in if you're feeling under the weather or to help stave off those nasty bugs if someone's in your house and brought them home. Use the code word SWEET, SWEET, for 20% off any IV treatment valid at the Delray Beach location only.
Hello, everybody. This is Andrea Trout, and I am here with my co-host, aka Spicy. I stole it from you. Oh, wait.
Carolina Rush.
Hi, Carolina. Sorry.
Hi.
And I'm Sweet, and we are the Sweet and Spicy podcast. And we're here today with one of our favorite guests, recurring guests. I think you're our only recurring guest at this point.
Oh, that's exciting.
Nancy Regan of Bella REina Spa right here in Delray Beach to talk about all things skincare.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Always.
Welcome back. So today we wanted to talk about, Carolina came up with it, so I'm going to let you introduce it.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Nancy came up with it, but
Nancy
you picked
came
it.
up with it. I don't have those notes in front of me. Do you,
You don't?
Nancy?
I do.
I can definitely add. Well, let's all talk.
We're going to talk about skincare for those of us that might be over 40 that don't want to admit it.
Okay, so we were going to talk about skincare routines over 40 and why they are different, what happens to our skin over 40, and what to do if you think it's too late for your skin and you have no hope.
It's like,
And we're hearing
No
lots
hope.
of laughter.
That's very dramatic.
Yes.
Janine in the background.
Actually, I mean, just because I'm working with women every day, there's so many women, you guys have no idea, and they get to be like 50 or 55 and they just go, oh, I'll just keep using soap because there's no hope for me. And I'm like, okay, because it's
Right.
because I want to say to them, look, you have no idea. You have another 40, 45, possibly 50 years
Yeah.
Right.
with
And-
all the longevity medicine.
And I remember you telling me, I think it was the first or second episode we did, my question was, is it too late? And you said it's never too late. And I'll never forget that. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to start with first, what happens to your skin once you're over 40?
So you hit 20 and the aminos and everything in your body and the way it normally worked up until that point was to build you into an adult. And everything was in this very fast pace with the skin because it was rebuilding and making all the proteins and aminos and the collagen and the elastin work fabulously. So from our 20s to our 40s, we think that we're going to live forever and be in that same shape.
And we're abusive.
And all of a sudden, we hit 40 and we go, OMG, what the heck is happening? And at that point, all of what has happened is the aminos that are responsible for the proteins that help to build the collagen and the elastin have been either not being made at all, or they've been dwindling, and everything over this, and vitamins, everything that your body's getting, your lifestyle has affected it, what you eat and all the chemicals, the preservatives, everything has affected the body. So the body's trying to do its best to get everything done. And everything, whether anybody likes it or not, is going to the skin. So the skin becomes this dumping ground for anything that's happening between those ages of 20 and 40. And at that point, you actually start to really notice. You don't notice things every day.
Right.
Yeah.
You just notice it.
All of a
when
sudden
all
you're
of a
like,
sudden
oh
you-
my
like, you look in
God.
the mirror and you go, I've got crow's feet. I've got this.
Yeah.
I've got that. And you're like, okay, how do I fix this?
It's a mantra for life. Time and consistency are key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's and the other part is don't wait, because
Right.
we start aging at 20.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we start aging at 20. I mean, if you're looking at TikTok, you start aging at 9 now.
I know, really.
with
And you
all-
start Botox at 20 now. Don't do it.
No.
But they are. They're doing Botox in their 20s preventatively. I'm like, really? So you're going to paralyze the muscle, which is
crazy.
going to age you later in life because you have no muscle
Right.
anymore that can like actually keep shape to your face and skin.
It's very, very sad. And the other thing that they're not even talking about is the fact that when you paralyze those muscles, the serotonins and all the good things that are supposed to go to the brain to signal that you're happy, they're not getting there.
Right.
So they don't discuss that part of it.
Because we pick up nonverbal cues and give nonverbal cues through our facial expressions. So
Exactly.
when you don't have it, that is actually releasing a chemical that's not happening, right? So am I understanding that?
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people are getting Botox, but they're also finally starting to do a little research where they're connecting the depression with the Botox because you smile all the time. And when you smile, your eyes smile.
Mhm.
And if your eyes are not smiling, and neither is your forehead, because you're like, all Botoxed up,
Yeah.
then you're not going to send all those signals to the brain that you're actually happy.
Yeah.
So
And actually smiling, not smizing like on America's Next Top Model. Did you watch that? Smizing.
I
Don't you
did
remember
not,
Tara?
But I do get Botox.
What's her name,
I
the
do get
supermodel?
Botox. And I
Well,
don't feel that.
But you're not over Botox like a lot of people. Like it doesn't look that way to me. I'm sure she could tell you different, but you may not want that.
I mean, right now I'm due.
You don't need it.
But yeah, I do need it.
You don't.
Right now it's not as visible because it's
But you
still
just said you're
effective.
due.
Well, for me, I'm due. If I were to go to her, she's like, "Yeah, you're not ready yet."
But
Which
it
has happened
literally
before.
affects your mental health, is what we're hearing.
No,
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not upset about it.
okay.
You're not getting what we're saying. Like when you don't actually, the facial muscles don't smile the way they're supposed to, it doesn't release serotonin, which makes the brain happy. Like, so it's literally affecting people's mental health because they can't put the facial expressions in their own facial expressions. They can't express it that way. So it's affecting their mental health. Like it's not releasing that chemical.
Right.
So I'm just saying, think about it because, it's a big deal.
The other thing is there's a lot you could do with muscle lifting that you can do through an electrical current that can be done that if you could just train the muscles, and they also have yoga for the face and all other things that you could do that would actually make it lift.
Yeah.
But
Myofascial exercises.
right.
We did it in the dental office when I worked with my sister in California for kids that have issues when they're little and born with, like, they might have a tongue tie and then they get that release and their muscles were not free to develop properly. So they have to do certain exercises. And really what we were trying to prevent was mouth breathing because mouth breathing is terrible for you. Terrible. And I laugh because did you ever watch Stranger Things? Where she calls the dumb people mouth breathers. We always thought that was funny, which they're not, but it's just the appearance. You look dumb.
Right.
So that's why she was the little girl and the main character was always like mouth breather when they were stupid people, which we thought was funny. But yeah. So you're 40. Everything's been building up over the last 20 years. The liver's not as efficient because it's probably not been detoxed. So it starts to come out the skin. The skin is losing elasticity.
Right. The collagen, and it's not on the same cycle to rebuild as fast because it's not getting the vitamins that it needs.
Right.
Or the ceramides or the peptides. Everything is starting in downhill mode. And with the advent of all of the technology that we have today, we're able to do things to make a huge difference in the aging of the skin.
Right. And that's vitamins externally and internally.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's why Prime IV is good. I'm going to plug my
Yes.
business because you're getting like so many women come in their 40s and 50s and are like, I just don't feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's because they don't have the nutrients.
Well, it's nutrients, it's hormones, it is a whole hydration. It's the combination of lifestyle and the speed of the skin cell cycle that whole speed of the cycle. So if you're working out, you're getting oxygen to that cell cycle. If you're not doing anything but sitting on a couch,
Yeah.
then everything that in your body is completely at low, slow,
Right.
everything.
Walking, we were talking about that
Mhm.
on the last episode for stress, and it's why that circulation is so important. So walking makes a big difference. Carolina walks every day.
And being active, and that makes a huge difference
Yeah.
in your cell cycle, like how fast your skin cells actually move, and that cell cycle of how fast it moves, we can speed it up as estheticians, and you can speed it up with skincare that you use, but the best also is a combination between the person actually doing physical activity and also the combination
Because
of
isn't
the
it
two.
healthy skin supposed to basically be a new top layer every 28 days?
Correct.
So some people may be longer simply because of the inactivity or their
Correct.
poor health. It's
Mhm.
super interesting.
So because they're not getting all the information to the cells to force the cells
Right.
to be really moving fast.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before because your line that you came out with helped me with the different shades, the pigmentation. Um, so I have read that that is something also that becomes more apparent after 40 is the discoloration of your skin. So my question is, we also talked about like chemical peels and things
Mhm.
like that. And you just like if you take the whole like layer of skin, the top layer of skin off, however they do
Mhm.
that, does that pigmentation, does it start over?
Okay, so the the pigmentation, you have to think of it is almost like a root. So if the root goes down to the dermis layer and the root goes, like, let's say it's like a tree, and so it has a long tap root, that root goes down to the dermis layer. So you don't actually know how long the root is from the damage of the melanin. So, for example, people will go have laser and they'll get or they'll have these deep, deep peels where everything is fried off,
Right.
and they will take more than major layers of skin off, which I really don't like the results because it makes them look flat and they have no skin texture. And so what ends up happening though is that melanin in many cases is still down deep in the dermis layer. So
Right.
3 or 4 years later, it's
It's gonna
coming
come
up to the
back.
surface. A lot of melanin is surface. I have a girl that I'm working with right now who she was very much a surfer, very much at the
Mm.
beach. She has these black, like along the side of her neck is completely dark from the melanin from always she would put fragrance on both sides when she was going to the beach,
Oh.
and the fragrance discolored, and so she's had these big black marks on both sides of her neck forever. And so we've been working to get rid of it. The pigmentation is not very deep. And so we had done a couple of TCA peels, and all of a sudden, third weekend, she decides she's going to go to Fort Lauderdale and forgets to take any of her stuff with,
Sunscreen.
well,
Oh, or
sunscreen
the
or
skincare.
skincare with her. And all of a sudden she comes back, she goes, "You're going to kill me." And I said, "What's the matter?" She goes, "It, it will, because the sun, you have in skincare what's called tyrosine inhibitors. It's pretty fancy name, but it prevents the melanin from becoming reactive. So what we try to do is bust up the melanin that's still there and make it so that the dark goes away, and it doesn't matter whether you have dark skin or light skin. It doesn't matter what color you are. The melanin reacts exactly the same way, but we try to bust it up so that we're getting one tone of skin.
Even that even look.
Even
So
look.
she didn't take the skincare, so it came back like with a vengeance. So it was back to where she started.
Well, it was about halfway back.
Okay, but not all the way.
Not all the way.
So interesting.
It was funny though, because she like comes running into
Yeah.
the spa. She goes, "You're gonna kill me."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nope, you're gonna kill yourself."
Right.
Because now you're going to spend more money. But that's actually super interesting. Something I wanted to touch on what you said is that we've talked about, I think we mentioned it briefly on a previous episode, but how toxic perfumes are. Like most perfumes are there's probably, from my experience, the number one most toxic product on the market right now is perfumes.
It just does, and especially because so many of them are not man-made essential oils.
Yeah, they're
they
synthetic.
Are synthetic. So that
Right.
synthetic part of it is when the sun hits it, it's like damage. So the sun and synthetic perfume is just not a good thing.
Well, and then on top of it, that synthetic materials are getting into your endocrine system, which is your hormonal system, and completely disrupting it. We know that. So again, like I would say this to you, like I would not let my teenage daughter put on synthetic perfumes because it's disrupting her hormones, which they're already going crazy, right? I would not let my teenager, boys or girls, wear, and the boys douse themselves in Axe, which they shouldn't anyway, or whatever those body sprays are. But it's so bad. It's so bad. It's a soapbox of mine. I will not go there, but I just, and right now, like because I've been talking about it with somebody, all of my ads on Facebook and Instagram right now are natural perfume, essential oils. Like they're hitting me like crazy.
Really?
Because, they listen. So they're like,
Yeah.
so, but I'm getting so many of them and I'm like, I don't actually trust any of you, unfortunately, but it's such a part to disrupt that industry like they've done because it's so, so toxic. They do not care. And they can be expensive as all get out and they're still not good. It's crazy.
That's very crazy.
Yeah. All right, back to skincare over 40. Sorry. Hijacked it.
So, speaking of being over 40,
Speak for yourself.
yeah, really.
Who you talking about?
Right?
I'm 24.
Right. For the 20th year in a row.
Yes.
Okay, so it's never too late.
Never too late.
So if you're just now starting, let's just say you've really never taken care of your skin. We'll go with myself, for example. I've taken care of my skin, just not consistently. And I think I've tried to rely on good genes. But if you were 49, you've had sun damage, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go back in time and do this all over again. What's your suggestion? What can you do to accelerate the anti-aging process at that age?
Okay, so my first question to anybody is exactly what are your expectations? So are you expecting to look like you were 20? Or do you want to be 5 or 10 years younger than you really are? Because if you want to look like you're 20, you're going to have to find somebody with a knife.
Yeah,
Correct.
right.
And
So obviously, let's say it's 5 or 10 years.
And if it's 5 or 10 years, the second thing I'm going to say is, okay, so let's talk about what you're using at home, because that's 80% of what's happening. And so many people are stuck with using soap. They're stuck with using a cleanser that is terrible for them.
Dries it out. Dries out the skin. Yeah.
It completely rips the skin has a very, very mantle across. It's called an acid mantle. And the acid mantle on the skin is what keeps it nice and soft and smooth and has oil on it. So these cleansers rip all that off. So everything that's happening, I will tell anybody that comes in, oh, I'm using whatever, blah, blah, blah cleanser, but I've got the very best. They'll spend $300 for a serum and $400 for a cream that are just like magnificent stem cells, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're wasting your money.
Because of the cleanser
because
that they're
of the
spending $10 on
exactly.
from the drugstore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The cleanser and the toner are stripping the skin. So when they go to put the serum and their nice stuff on, it's not actually soaking in because the skin is so dry. The skin's just trying to recover
It's like a hard ground that can't take in the water.
any more moisture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's like building
It's-
blocks.
It's exactly.
It has
and
to work together.
It has to work together. So even if they do nothing but a really good cleanser and a really good moisturizer, that's going to start to change the consistency of the skin so that the skin can start to absorb what's being put into the skin or on top of it.
Is that true for men and women?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Mhm. Everybody.
And I also read that you have to be if you're starting at that age, you have to be super religious, and even more so when you're in your 20s or 30s, like morning and night. You can't, like, you have to be really strict about that. So if somebody were to come to you in that condition and you got them on everything they need to do, and they said, okay, I am going to do everything you told me to do, how long is it going to take me to look 5, 10 years younger with everything that you just told me and me doing it religiously?
Probably really like for you to look in the mirror and see the change, because I'm going to see it before you do.
Right, of course.
Okay. So for you, it's probably going to be probably a year because you have to go through that whole cell cycle and the mental
Right.
tear down that we've done to our self-esteem and our ego. Like our egos are constantly talking before actually what you're seeing in the mirror. And
Beating yourself up.
Yeah.
That was relevant to our previous episode.
Our self-talk is just
Yeah.
so much, so
True.
bad. And so we're going to see the difference at the spa. Sometimes we see it within a month.
Okay.
I mean, and we have exosomes now that we work with microneedling and stuff like that, that we are really seeing people like they're sending us their pictures after 2 weeks
Right.
going, oh my goodness, I never thought I would look this good.
Yeah.
So that we can really make a difference in the skin. It's just the home part of it that's more important. And if you're going to skip the morning, don't ever skip the evening.
Yeah.
Drag your butt into the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's
and do
good.
it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So the night one is more
It's the
important.
most important. Everything we do is regenerating at night.
Okay.
So I don't care like what you do, just like you have to regenerate at night because it's the most important. So that's why in our line we did a night mask, because it's like, okay, just get the cleanser, get
My
the
favorite.
toner, put the mask on and go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, because so at least when you wake up in the morning, you're like waking up glowing. You may not feel it,
I
but
love
it's
that mask.
giving you at least some like your skin a little perk to the skin.
So I have one last question for you. Speaking of nighttime, this happened to me the other night, and I thought of you because I didn't know what to do. So
awesome.
I, cleansed my face. I put my moisturizer on, my serum, and then I usually put my night cream.
hmm
Well, then I realized I was out of my night cream. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I leave it like this or do I put my day cream on?
Put your day cream on.
So I did.
Even if it has SPF?
Well, I prefer
it was a little, my day cream I noticed is a little bit thicker
Mhm.
than the night cream. The night cream is much more, it's creamier. I don't know. But the day cream is a little thicker. And so I didn't know what to do, but I did it anyway. I put the day cream on. I'm like, I don't know if I'm not supposed to do this.
Did it have SPF?
Yeah.
Then no.
Yeah, I would never put
No.
SPF on at night, just
No.
personally, but
Okay.
that's a thing for me.
No. Well, SPF at night is all it's going to do is not allow the skin to do
breathe.
anything
So that's what I kind of had a
Okay.
feeling.
because it's blocking.
Right. That's
Everything.
what I thought.
Mhm.
So if that were to ever happen again, just put the serum on and that's it. Okay.
Or double serum. Put it on, then put another layer of serum on.
So that's a question I had because I saw you had a post on your social media about this recently. You said give time in between each product for it to absorb. So like I use your line. So I wash my face and then I put the toner on while my face is still damp. I spray the toner on. So then how long after I do that should I wait to if I'm going to put on the serum?
Maybe a minute.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be very long. It's just that you don't want to put the serum onto something that's still wet
Oh.
because I want it absorbing into the skin.
Because you know me, I'll just
Well,
1, 2, 3, 4.
what? if whatever, like I'm more interested in that it's being applied.
But
So
I wanted to get the maximum benefit. So
maximum
that's
benefit
where
is letting it dry between
a minute.
So I think what you should do is you put your first layer on, then you walk around to get your steps.
Yeah.
We were talking about
About
the
steps.
steps before.
right?
I mean, because that's just it. With my skincare, I'm on it. Like I'm religious about washing my face at night and in the morning, like religious. So I'm really good about it. But I want to know, like, that's what, and I meant to ask you the other night when I saw you and didn't, of like, how long? So about a minute or until it's dry. So it's not too bad. Because I was like, do I need to wait 5 or 10? Because that's long, especially if I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But it's always lightest to heaviest, right? And the way you apply it. So like it's the toner, the serum, because that's lighter, and then the moisturizer.
Correct.
And then if I have, so this is, don't shoot me. I have a little castor oil serum that I love. So if I ever want to put that on, put it on over the cream.
I actually, if you have the oil, I would put it on after the serum.
And then the cream?
And then the cream
Okay,
on
good
top
to
of
know.
it. Because the oil is going to be, the creams, and it depends on how much it's actually absorbing of the castor oil.
Yeah.
Because it's occlusive. So
What is occlusive?
it means that it's going to cover and not allow anything to absorb
The cream.
the oil.
Oh. But then why would I put that on?
Because it's all mixing together.
Okay.
I mean,
Doesn't entirely make sense to me.
well, either or, when you put the oil over the top of the,
So I shouldn't put the oil and the cream on?
yeah, it's kind of like,
I love that serum though. It makes my skin look really
The
good
oil?
too. Yeah.
so maybe do one night with just the oil by
Mm.
itself.
I know, but I have to switch with my blue velvet mask. I get so obsessed with it. I love that blue velvet mask. It's so amazing. Did you like that? Do you remember using it?
Okay, so I did it myself. The one that you gave me?
Yeah, then the 14-day trial.
Oh, no. So yes, I used that, loved it. But then you gave me
the one I gave you, which was I just blanked on the name. It's the powder. We talked about it before, and I cannot. Bentonite clay, but it has a
Okay.
bunch of other stuff in it. It has colostrum in it and vitamin
Right.
C powder and some other stuff in it.
So it was great, but as soon as I opened it up and saw that it was powder, I'm like, I gotta work for this.
Yeah, you have to mix it with water.
Yeah,
Or
and so
ACV, which
I
I
was like,
do.
I'm not gonna know how much water to put in this.
It
and
tells
so,
you on the thing.
I know,
You
but
should see us in the treatment room when we have
Oh
a
my
powder
gosh.
mask. It's so hilarious. Most of the time, there's powder all over
Yeah,
us, or there's
it's
powder on the
messy.
walls. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I like opening it up and it being like the clay already, and then then I used to
But
have
then it
one.
goes bad.
Mhm.
I used to have this one where it had a magnetic
right.
thing that
Oh.
and
Lift.
it was so satisfying to see it all come off with the
Are those
magnetic
bad
thing.
for you?
It's
Probably.
not really bad.
Uh.
There are actually one now that I'm looking at that has the magnets in the mask. So
Oh,
you put the
interesting.
mask on and then attach the little transfers to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it'll electrify your whole face.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
it's-
That's very TikTok
No,
like
very
savvy.
new
Totally.
stuff. New stuff
Okay, you
coming.
have to call me when that comes in.
Yes.
I do want to do a episode with you where we go over like TikTok trends if they're just all crap. Because I feel like most of them are
Most
crap.
of them are.
So can I ask you about one real quick?
Sure.
Have you seen the one where you put the mask on and you're supposed to sleep in it and it melds into the skin and goes transparent and it makes your skin look like glass?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? I
Mm-mm.
want you to look at that because I'm such
Makes
a
you
sucker.
look like porcelain.
Yes.
What's the product?
I don't even know. I probably didn't look into it. And that's why it keeps me from it because I'm like, it's just toxic.
Well,
Don't
it's probably
buy it.
silicone.
It's not because it starts opaque and it becomes translucent. That's not silicone.
Well, there was many, so in makeup, when you're doing like a primer or anything like that, most of these are like a dimethicone silicone that gets
Oh.
applied so that you can put your makeup on
And it stays on
and
the
it
top.
stays on the top. So underneath is this smooth layer.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what's in it, but that's a lot of times that's what's in
I'm
these
going to go look
layers.
at their ingredients list. I did look at the list. I just don't remember because obviously it didn't stick. But
We should do an episode actually, because we can do, which we still need to do one at Prime IV.
yeah.
We should do one at your spa
That would be fun.
where we maybe do
Yeah.
a skincare routine.
Oh,
That'd
that
be
would
awesome.
be so much fun.
And
Let's do it.
We're going on the road, Janine.
Yay,
yeah,
let's
I
do
think
it.
we should do that
We could
so that
use
people can see
Janine
it.
as one of our models.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could talk about it till we're blue in the face, and I'm probably still a little bit confused.
That'd be
And
good.
It's kind of like dieting. Like you need to just tell me what I need to get, and then do first, second, third, and then I'll do it. But yeah,
That's actually another great idea. We should do an episode on nutrition for your skin health because she's amazing at it.
absolutely.
We've helped other friends of ours like go shopping at the grocery store.
And
Yeah, I know who.
I just got a new cookbook yesterday. I was like, oh,
Nice.
it's so exciting.
Yeah. Because it matters.
Mhm.
It matters. Any last questions? So I'm just going to wrap it up while you think about it, if you have any last things to ask. So really, it matters mostly what you're doing at home,
Correct.
of what you're using, products you're using. So that's the 80-20% rule because it's 80% is what you're using at home. If you want to speed it up, they can come to a spa like yours and use non-toxic products like you use in yours. There are other places, but it's hard to know
Correct.
when you're not educated like you are. And you can do exosomes, which are amazing and tad pricey. I'm not going to lie, but they're
Yes,
amazing.
They're
like
amazing.
probably the most cutting edge thing on the market right now, I would
Yes. And
posit.
as it becomes more popular, the price is
Yeah.
definitely going to drop.
Yes.
So
Which is
we'll
good.
just see.
Yeah. But if somebody really wants to speed it up or has a big event, that's probably the number one thing they could do to get results
Absolutely.
like that. And the other one I love is the needleless thread lift that you have, which is going back to the electric current where you're lifting that muscle. So that lasts like a couple days.
Well, the initial part of it is the collagen part, but our clients are telling us a month.
Wow.
Is that the thing that you?
Well, we do the muscle current lift in it.
It's like
Also.
yeah, it's a
little
tool they have.
handheld thing.
Yes. It's
But we
so
do a
good.
plasma. So the plasma helps to,
Which is a product.
no, it's a machine.
The machine.
The machine is a plasma. So that helps the skin actually absorb the collagen threads.
Oh.
And it's a fibrous silk. So it's really interesting.
So I do have one last question. So I notice that when I sleep, I'm a stomach sleeper.
Mhm.
So when I wake up, I have the puffiness here, and I get why. So I purposely, if I have something major to go to, if I know I'm going to be in pictures or something important, I will purposely sleep on my back, because when I sleep on my back, I wake up and I'm like, whew, like 20 years younger. But I barely sleep. So that's probably not going to happen very often that I do that. So I am a stomach sleeper. I probably always will be. So what can I do to still get sleep and eliminate that? Because I've tried those. I've tried the cucumbers. I've tried those strips that you put on.
Do you have a silk pillowcase?
No.
Silk, not satin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those silk pillowcases seem to work amazing because it doesn't give you the friction or the other and I'm going from what I'm being told is bamboo. So, and bamboo is for pillowcases, either or, supposedly keeps your face from having that crunched effect where you're putting pressure on it all night long.
Right.
They also make little face things, which are kind of, I don't know, a little weird.
Where you put it on your face to sleep in it.
You put it on your face to sleep in it, but I can't imagine.
Have you tried the under eye things in the
That's what I'm
morning?
talking
Like the
about.
next morning though?
The strips, yeah. And
Yeah.
I even have those rollers that I keep in the refrigerator
Uh-huh.
that I use after it.
Yeah. And it doesn't
And
affect it.
I think it's psychosomatic.
You sleep on the side with your face on the side,
Side and kind of down.
face down.
Not completely, but
Yeah.
like tilted
I don't know
down.
how you do that. I cannot sleep on my stomach.
I mean,
to
I
save my
try
life.
so hard to sleep on my back for my face.
Understood.
I bet your
And-
mother thought you were dying every time she went to the crib.
Yeah, probably. And
I'm
I
a
just-
stomach sleeper as well my whole
Wow.
life.
I can't do
It
it.
makes such a difference though in my face.
So weird. Oh,
It's
yeah.
so weird.
Not shocking. Because all the
Oh
all the
yeah, it's like
circulation, blood
it's the
flow.
lymphatic thing
Yeah.
going on, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do lymphatic massage the night before you go to sleep. Try it.
Well, the problem, you really don't have lymph up here.
Mm.
So it's really down in here. So it's trying to get that fluid that's all been
Yeah.
mashed here
But it
to right
might
here.
but it might be that this is clogged.
And
So
it
if you-
might be
If you do some massage on your lymph, which is in your neck and under your armpits and then the groin,
right.
like you might have better
There's
drainage.
so much to keep track
I know,
Yes.
it's true.
It's a
between
pick your
nutrition,
battles.
exercise,
Yep.
and skincare.
That's where you
It's
just
a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
the key is,
Don't
you
stress.
guys have this vehicle to help tell people.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part, is because there's so much misinformation out there, and you guys being able to have people come on
Yeah.
and be able to have an honest conversation about, hey,
What's real.
does this work? Does this not work? And it's not TikTok.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It's like, it's not like, oh, I'm just doing it for money. That's the biggest thing I see.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because I promise we're not making money on
Right.
this.
Of
so-
course. Yeah. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Knock on wood.
We need more followers.
I know.
Hint, hint.
Like and share and give us a 5-star review.
Right.
Please.
Okay, we have to go to your spa. Like we're gonna make that happen.
that would be fun.
Yeah,
would
for
be
sure.
awesome.
We'll have to get a video too.
For sure.
So do a YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for coming. That was
Thank
fun,
you.
Nancy, as always.
That was fun.
Love you.
Love you too.
We'll have you back soon. If you have questions for Nancy, be sure to let us know. Some of you may see us in person, can ask us, but some of you can just message us on Instagram.
Or email us.
We don't check that very often. We might need to be better about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We had some weird ones from England, so
Yeah, yeah.
I know there were some strange ones anyway. But be sure to
Stay tuned.